Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Master Obi-Wan97. I'm Josh, and in this video I'm going to review the Clone Wars episode Rising Malevolence. Rising Malevolence is the second episode of the Clone Wars to air, and it is the sixth episode of the Clone Wars chronologically. This episode takes place after the episode Ambush, which aired right before it. Also, the quote featured at the beginning of this episode is, "Belief is not a matter of choice, but of conviction." This episode is also the first part of the Malevolence trilogy of episodes, which is the first three-parter in the Clone Wars series. In this episode, General Grievous has a new super weapon and flagship, the Malevolence, which has destroyed a dozen Republic warships and has left no survivors. The Malevolence has an ion cannon which disables enemy ships and leaves them defenseless. The Jedi Council sends Jedi Master Plo Koon to hunt down the weapon. Master Plo and his fleet locates the Malevolence in the Abrogado system. Master Plo reports his position to Anakin before engaging the Malevolence. The Malevolence jams the transmission and fires on Master Plo's fleet. Master Plo and his men get in escape pods before their fleet is destroyed. Count Dooku orders Grievous to send out pod hunters to destroy the escape pods. Meanwhile, Anakin and Ahsoka have a meeting via hologram with the Jedi Council and Chancellor Palpatine. Anakin tells them of the loss of communication with Master Plo and that his fleet was likely destroyed like the others. Afterwards, Anakin, taking Ahsoka and R2 with him, takes his ship, the Twilight, to search for survivors in the Abrogado system, going against the Jedi Council's orders. One of Grievous's pod hunters finds and destroys one of the other escape pods. Master Plo and his men are able to destroy one of the pod hunters and its droids before they can destroy their escape pod. Ahsoka is able to sense Master Plo through the Force, allowing her and Anakin to find him. Anakin and Ahsoka rescue Plo and his three surviving troops, who board the Twilight. Master Plo tells Anakin to shut down all power on the Twilight so the Malevolence won't detect them. However, they forget to turn off a medical droid. The Malevolence detects them and fires its ion cannon. Anakin is able to maneuver the Twilight through the debris field and jump to hyperspace, returning to Anakin's fleet. I thought this episode was good. I really enjoyed it. I like how this episode continues the development of Anakin and Ahsoka's relationship as Master and Padawan. And this is also the first episode with Anakin and Ahsoka in it since the events of the Clone Wars movie. Also, I like Plo Koon in this episode. And also, another thing that I like about the Clone Wars series is that it gives us more time to get to know some of the other Jedi, like, Plo Koon, that we didn't, get to really know in the movies, and that the movies didn't have time to get into that. Also like how they gave Plo Koon a voice that sounds similar to Gandalf, Lord of the Rings. I like how he has like a wise sounding voice. Also, a fun fact here about Plo Koon is that he's also Dave Filoni's favorite Star Wars character, and Dave Filoni, of course, was the supervising director of Star Wars The Clone Wars, and he just recently became the new president of Lucasfilm. Also, I like General Grievous as a villain in this episode, and also this is the first appearance of General Grievous in the Clone Wars series, with the exception of a brief shot he appeared in the newsreel of the Clone Wars movie. And this is also aside from that brief shot in the Clone Wars movie that I mentioned, this is also the first appearance on screen of Grievous in canon Star Wars. I also like the sequence near the end of the episode where Grievous realizes they're still survivors out there, and the Malevolence detects Anakin's ship due to them forgetting to turn off the medical droid, and Anakin and them they have to make their way to escape as soon as they can, and and Grievous, of course, he orders the Malevolence to open fire, on the Twilight. And I just like that sequence where, the suspense of it, the music, when the ion cannon fires and like the ray beam comes toward the Twilight, and Anakin, he's maneuvering the Twilight around the debris, the stuff, the debris field, and and the like I was saying, the music and the suspense, and then of course once he gets clear of the debris field, he makes the jump to hyperspace, and I like when Grievous out of frustration just like grabs at the air, and then he says, "Now the Republic will learn of our ion cannon." And then I like when Count Dooku says to Grievous, "Your failures, most unfortunate General." Also, another thing I like about this episode is that it shows that Plo Koon, really cares for the men under his command. Like there's that one scene where one of the clones is saying that like hunting down the weapon, or that he thinks hunting down the weapon is more strategically important than their lives, and then Plo Koon tells them, I value your lives more than finding that weapon. And then there's a scene later in the episode, right before they get rescued, where one of the clones tells Plo that we're clones, we're meant to be expendable, and he says, "Not to me." So that's another thing I liked as well. It shows like I said, Plo, his care for the men under his command and his compassion for them. So anyway, these are some things I enjoyed about this episode. Please let me know what y'all's thoughts are on Rising Malevolence in the comments below. Thank you all for watching my video. Y'all have a great day, and may the Force be with you.